For the second day in a row, stock prices tumbled before a blanket 10% tariff goes into effect across dozens of countries on Saturday. Investors are continuing to pull back following the announcement of President Trump's massive tariff plans, and they're not alone. The United States' biggest trade partners are getting ready to hit back. China announced a 34% tariff on all U.S. goods starting April 10th.
Donald Trump has single-handedly created a financial forest fire.
Their economies are not crashing. Their markets are reacting to a dramatic change in the global order in terms of trade. Once they know what the rules are, they will adjust to those rules.
The reciprocal tariffs will kick in next week on April 9th. In a sign of the evolving market, Nintendo announced plans to delay pre-orders of its Switch 2 game console due to the potential impact of tariffs. There's growing bipartisan alarm at a number of high-profile firings among the president's national security staff. The director of the National Security Agency, General Timothy Haw, and his civilian deputy, Wendy Noble, are the most noteworthy. General Haw also ran the U.S. military's cyber command. It's not clear why they were fired, but several days ago, conservative journalist Laura Loomer said she was in the White House advising President Trump to let those staffers go, and she posted on X this morning, quote, as a Biden appointee, General Haw had no place serving in the Trump administration.
She makes recommendations of things and people, and sometimes I listen to those recommendations like I do with everybody. I listen to everybody, and then I make a decision.
Both Democrats and Republicans are criticizing the move. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries wrote in part, quote, the decision by Donald Trump to fire General Haw is outrageous and makes the American people less safe in an increasingly dangerous world. Republican Congressman Don Bacon told Fox News, quote, the White House fired one of our best generals and with no explanation. Russia, China are laughing at us. The White House also fired at least 3 senior national security officials since the president's meeting with Loomer. A federal judge ordering the Trump administration to bring a deported Maryland man back home. It comes after the government admitted he was wrongly deported to El Salvador. Despite the judge's order, there are still questions on how to get him back to the United States. Fox 5's chief legal correspondent, Katie Barlow, has been following this story.
Good evening. Judge Paula Zinnes, who is an Obama appointee, read her order from the bench in Greenbelt, Maryland this afternoon, shortly before 3 p.m. She recognized what she called irreparable harm that Kilmar Abrego Garcia continues to experience in a Salvadoran detention center. She ordered the government to return him to the United States by Monday at midnight. Abrego Garcia was arrested by ICE agents in Beltsville on March 12th as part of the Trump administration's efforts to remove non-citizen gang members from the U.S. The government says Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13. Abrego Garcia fervently denies that claim. In 2019, an immigration judge found that Abrego Garcia had a credible fear of getting killed if he was returned to his home country and barred the government from deporting him specifically to El Salvador. Despite that order, the government deported Abrego Garcia to El Salvador on March 15th. His family lost contact with him after that.
Kilmer, if you can hear me, I miss you so much, and I'm doing the best to fight for you and our children.
DOJ argues that they don't have the power to retrieve Abrego Garcia from another country's custody. The challengers cite public comments from the Secretary of State and other officials saying the United States has an agreement with El Salvador for them to detain these individuals. El Salvador's president tweeted that the U.S. will pay, quote, a very low fee for them, but a high one for us. The judge ruled on that agreement that the U.S. appears to have some sort of control over the detainees in Salvadoran custody. The government's lawyer repeatedly told the court that they have not provided any evidence of a contract or agreement on the record in this case, and they dispute that claim. The government may quickly appeal this decision to the federal appeals court, given the tight timeline here.
Katie, thanks so much. Meanwhile, massive anti-Trump protests planned for this weekend are expected to bring thousands of people to the nation's capital. Organizers of the hands-off protests are calling for a nationwide day of action. More than 1,100 rallies are planned across all 50 states, targeting Trump administration policies and federal layoffs. They come as DOJ-related firings top 280,000, the latest targeting healthcare agencies this week. Some of those now being reversed as HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announces plans to reinstate some personnel. He is also bringing back a CDC program which monitors lead in kids.